To all who come, welcome.
Disney is a time machine that takes us back,
connects us together,
and shows us that not even wishing upon a star ever gets old.
Now come sit with your friends, Jonelle,
Sean,
and Megan as we deep dive into the heart of Disney.
The window is open, so...
You did that way too fast.
But the window...
We don't open them, Jonelle.
Why?
Recording for our episode of Friends of Disney.
But it's frozen today.
So you should let it go. Ha ha ha.
Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Friends of Disney, where we're talking about the one, the only, the Frozen.
Frozen. I'm also realizing I don't think we've done a recording since I've got my hair cut.
I don't know. We recorded last week.
I don't know.
I don't
know. I was trying to do a little skit, though. I hope you all enjoyed it.
I hope you all could understand it. She went so fast.
Okay, it was trying to be cute of, a little conversational thing of just, the Frozen musicals wrapped up in one. Anyways, Frozen.
Such a heartwarming movie.
Disney princess-related series. This obviously goes into that.
Which is, okay, it technically is not part of the Disney princess lineup.
But technically, Anna is a princess.
While they are princesses and queens, they technically do not meet the criteria of Disney princess franchise because of the amount of money it's made. Because the Disney princess franchise is meant to help boost sales on those movies.
But since Frozen is doubled it, it's its own thing.
I love Frozen though.
I like Frozen now. I hated this movie when it came out.
Same.
Actually,
oh.
Okay, so listen. This is one of my good high school memories. It's one of my only high school memories. So we're just going to leave that part aside. So I took this class. I can't remember what it was, but we did a lot of we were in the computer lab and we had to do a lot of computer lab stuff. And the assignments were so easy. We would be given 2 weeks to do it and I would get it done in the first 3 days.
Jesus.
That's me when I had math. Okay, so in high school, you know how you generally in math classes, they give you homework every night for section 1-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
I was always in honors math classes. So we have sections, basically 4 sections of homework a night. I finished all of my homework in class.
You math geek. But anyways, Frozen.
I swear this had something to do with it because Frozen came out around that time. And listen, I was a little obsessed. Okay, so I literally would read through articles about the making of Frozen. Okay, I was a little bit of a nerd.
Little?
Okay, so I researched a lot during this time. But what I thought was really interesting was the way that they decided to animate ice. I can't remember a lot of it because high school was many years ago. But I was I did a 3-day just full deep dive into the creation of Frozen. And it's one of my favorite high school memories.
I couldn't stand this movie because it was everywhere.
It was everywhere and I loved it.
And I hated it. It felt like it was being shoved down my throat.
So I actually never really paid attention when this movie was released and when it first came out because at this time I was in a relationship with my groomer. His little sister loved this movie though. So when I was at their house often she would be singing Let It Go in the bathroom.
Oh my God, I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah.
Because my sister,
every little girl was in there singing Let It Go.
My sister was 3 at the time of Frozen's release. And at that time, we were I had recently potty trained her and stuff like that. And she would go, sorry to embarrass you, but she would leave the door open and just be singing, Let It Go, as she's going to the bathroom.
Yeah, and I think his sister was 8 and I was 14 at the time. But during bath time, she'd be singing Let It Go. And then of course, now it's K-pop Demon Hunters. But since then, Frozen has really been the little girl's costume for years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys a funny story? I swear it's still about Frozen. So in my psychology class, which notoriously was bad because we spent 2 weeks on sleep and I fell asleep during class because it was so boring. We had to write a psychology report on the different characters. And I got assigned to Olaf. And how, like, it was supposed to be like how, like, human they were. But my whole essay was about how, since Olaf was a snowman and he was not human, he was trying to mimic what it was like to be human and failing epically because he is indeed a snowman. I got the highest grade in the class. We watched it in class, and there was me and my good friend singing in the back, just let it go, while everyone just stared at us, and it was beautiful.
Mad about the parents at the beginning of this movie.
Yes! Every time. Every
Those
time.
parents were awful to Elsa.
Oh my
What's horrible is like the second movie, you're supposed to like them more
Yeah.
and be more understandable.
Understanding.
Yeah, I now can't get past the mother because if she was so nice and understood the powers of the forest because of the fact that she's from the forest, why in the hell does she not know how to protect Anna in the first place? Or Elsa in the first place?
Elsa and Anna.
No, like it's hard because, like, for reference, like, we're primarily talking about Frozen 1, but we can't deny Frozen 2 existing right now. But, like, I think it honestly has to come to with general royalty rules because the king, the dad, is the actual royal and the mom married in. So I think you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but, like, I think you know more about royalty and things than I do.
But there should be
But, like,
common sense of, I was in a magical forest one day with my father, and some beautiful enchantress saved me. Like, don't you think he'd be like, wow, maybe if I could connect the two. Why does my daughter have powerful magic coursing through her hands?
this is why it's in Frozen 2. It's a retcon. No, but, like, it's awful that their solution where like the troll dude literally said, do not, like, fear will be your enemy. And they do nothing but put fear and shame into Elsa.
Okay.
You know what I love about, sorry.
Okay. I'm trying to think of it from my perspective as a parent.
Or as a teacher.
I'm going as a parent. If my child had an ability where ice is dangerous, ice is awful. It can be really pretty to play in, to make snowmen. Yes, we'll come back to Olaf. But it can also be extremely dangerous just by how cold it gets.
Which is funny considering it's typically the weakest of any video game.
It's true. But I feel like what they were fearing wasn't Elsa, like the person, but like
What Elsa had going on in her.
Or what she was capable
of her hurting herself.
I hear you saying that, but then I
Like-
think of the handcuffs.
See, this is what it makes me think of, and I know I'm going to go back to the Bible on this, and I'm sorry for the quick religious lesson, but being Lutheran, on Christmas Eve, we all meet for the Christmas Eve ceremony where we all join together as a congregation and we are given the message of do not be afraid, because we are given Mary's story of how she was not afraid to hear the story of that she's going to be carrying baby Jesus and giving birth to this kid. And the whole time they're like, Mary, do not be afraid. And every time I watch Frozen, that message is what I hear Elsa needs to do is do not be afraid. Embrace yourself. Because, and I mean, just going on my background of Lutheranism, it's always been like you embrace your motherhood. You embrace the things that have come into your life, like recently with the fucking dog. Sorry. Those who don't know, me and my partner are now a dog owner.
They will not be making appearances on the podcast.
No, the dog will not.
Nor my partner. He, no care for this podcast.
But anyways, no. But yeah, the handcuffs make it harder for me to, like, agree with your thoughts.
Okay, for those are like handcuffs because they're not like typical handcuffs where you think like police station. Like
But like with how they were made, those would be specifically made for Elsa to cover her hands because that was their whole MO.
So when Hans captures
Elsa.
Elsa, she's brought to like this dungeon where there is like literally bolted into the floor this chain that's led to something metal that covers her hands, which Sean is referring to as handcuffs because it cuffs her hands. When looking online, people have come to notice like Hans couldn't build that.
No.
Blacksmith could not have made that like in
No.
a few hours. Like it had to be made beforehand. And who would have thought of making something to cover Elsa's hands? Her parents. So that meant that if Elsa couldn't control it, she would be locked in this dungeon with handcuffs. And I don't know, from what we know of Elsa, she's not a vengeful person. She seems very kind.
She's scared of her own shadow.
Same, honestly. But
I was like, she sounds like me.
I don't know. I would never, ever think about locking my child up who was as kind as Elsa was, if not socially awkward.
I then think about like parents who have dealt with autistic children like my sister. So parents like my mom. Again, when a child is very aggressive, but we know Elsa's not aggressive, but because of the fact that Elsa can deal with magic and probably the fact of just how she scared her sister, I think that may have been enough to scare the parents go on the like, God, like if Elsa begins to get aggressive behaviors, this is what we need to do.
Well, and like, well, here's like wrong because like Elsa, we see at first before she has any fear, has immense control over like her magic abilities. There is no question. She has complete control, and she just couldn't keep up with how fast Anna was jumping, and an accident happened.
A freak accident.
Accidents do happen. Granted,
Not all of us have magic powers that can shoot our sisters with. Unless you're not telling us something, Jonah.
it's
Nope. I'm sorry, I don't have
Damn.
magical powers.
Damn, you got my hopes up. But like,
I do have a magical story though on Frozen.
hold on. But like, I see the worry in a parent, like, oh my god, this major accident happened, cue overprotective helicopter mode. But then the actions that were taken irritate me because, like, one, they went to the trolls, at which that whole scene made me want to crack up laughing because of how bad it is. Like, I know where we have to go. Like, the way he says it is so dramatic, and I'm like,
There's
dude.
things that I was like, there's just some movies that like certain scenes Disney makes where the cringe stands out so much you can't help but laugh.
And that is one of them.
For me, it's the entire Descendants series.
Yes.
Because I mean, we've talked about this though, but Dove Cameron going like,
Yep. Yes.
Carlos is the best part of the Descendants movies. No one can change my mind.
And Evie.
And Evie, you're right.
But like the fact they went to like the magical trolls, who said her power is like wondrous, beautiful. If you fear it, though, you will lead to issues. And then said, we're going to remove the memories of magic. She won't know that Elsa has magic, but we're going to leave like the relationship, the fun. And then what do? They isolate her.
They
it's
remove
like,
the relationship.
I'm like, you're an idiot.
And I feel so bad. I feel the worst for poor Elsa. But like, imagine Anna the next morning. Because we know they shared a room. So all of a sudden, she wakes up and they're not in the same room. And she goes, Mom, why can't I go play with Elsa? And what did they tell her? Elsa just doesn't want to play right now. Okay, but like, how many years can you keep that up? Because we can't keep Lynn squish away from a toy for more than 10 minutes without him screaming at us.
and then she dies.
Well, and like, funny. But like, think about it. He changed her memories, which means she still had the memory of what just happened. Her playing with Elsa, making Olaf, jumping on the snowbanks. She has all that memory of what just happened.
And then she wakes up and she's isolated.
Exactly. She's like, what the fuck? We just were playing and now you're a bitch? What?
We were just playing. Like, why can't we, like, I get nap time happen, but like, why can't we go play?
And,
Yeah.
and the parents did not help at all. And
They didn't explain anything.
the fact, like, even when Anna got to, like, be with Elsa after the coronation, she's really like, you're talking to me? What the? Do you know who I am?
Okay, hear me out. As a parent, I can understand being like, we're gonna put on clubs for like a week, maybe 2, while we try to figure things out, right? We're gonna lock the door just while like a temporary fix while we're figuring things out, so that way we have like a system in place. 2 weeks would be my max before we're like, okay, we can take the gloves off. We figured this out.
Sounds like us when we had the baby and we had to keep the mittens on his hands.
For those who don't know, you can't cut newborns' fingernails because they're newborns and they're still like.
And they're like really soft and like hard to actually get it because they're so tiny.
Yes.
And they like to scratch at their face. So you have to leave them in mittens. But you can't leave them in mittens forever because they have to learn how to use their hands.
So it's like the constant, like, okay, so when are we going to put them in mittens? When are we not going to put them in mittens? But like, that's like the deal of being a parent is like, how much of the like, how much freedom do you give your kid versus how much like, not, I don't want to say restriction because that's not it, but like, how much boundaries? What boundaries are you going to give to your kid? And so basically what they did with Elsa is like, you have this room.
You get every boundary possible.
And then to Anna, you can't go into this room and you can't leave the castle. And to everyone else, we're only going to make like 5 people run the castle.
Which is
Dumb because castles are big and require a lot of staff.
But if there's not a lot of people there, hey, there's not a lot of stuff to clean anymore.
Well, imagine all the dust that
I
gathered.
was like, the amount of dust, because if you don't have an entire crew constantly dusting a house.
Fact, actually, about dust. Dust only accumulates when a person is there. If you were to take a house, completely dust it free, lock it up, not a single person enters it, no living thing enters it, mostly humans because it's all dead skin cells mostly, and you were to go back in, it actually wouldn't be dusty.
So dust is just our dead skin scales in the skin, like in the particles of the air settling down.
Partly, yeah.
Okay.
We're gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, besides the point, like, it's still like you basically, in the blink of this child's eye, isolated them from the world. Not only Elsa, but Anna built giant walls, and we're like, yeah, good luck. And we don't see Elsa or Anna's parents do anything throughout the first part of the movie besides take them to like the trolls and then be like, whoops, sorry, you gotta go on a trip.
Then their parents were dead. Then their parents were dead. Love you, Olaf.
Love you, Josh Gad.
I was like, Olaf is the greatest character, which is where I would like to take the next segue.
Please do.
All right, on a much greater note, I'm going to give you guys a little story.
Okay.
Buckle in.
Tell us a story.
All right. Jonelle is a recent graduate of her bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
The master.
No, not the master's.
Oh, you're going bachelor?
Yeah.
The bachelor? No.
Yeah, I'm not the master yet. I haven't gone to my master's
Wait,
degree.
Excuse me. The bachelorette.
So I have my I had just finished my accounting and business management degree. My grandparents, luckily grandpa had work in Florida, so I got a trip to Disney World.
You got to meet Olaf.
Yes, and it is one of the greatest stories, and I just love telling it.
Did you hear about the new Olaf, like,
Animatronic.
animatronic? That's a new character meet and greet.
No, but let me go into for Elsa's the Frozen story. All right. It is now February 15th. We are going by the day. Anyways, we had just been in the Magical Kingdom for Valentine's Day, so now it's the next day. This day is Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Me and my grandmother, we go into Epcot, and we're now finally into Norway after just visiting Mexico. And
only Disney fans would get that. We were just in Mexico. Now we're in Norway.
That's what he looks like.
Okay, so we were in Norway and we go into the cabin house of Elsa, like their summer cabin house for Elsa and Anna. And that was the meet and greet for the princesses. Well, the princess and queen. The first person that you talk to is Elsa. Anna. I love Anna more than I love Elsa, just because I think Anna has a much more positive outlook on things than Elsa.
And she's quirky in the
Yeah.
in like the best way.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kristen Bell. We'll come back to you, I swear.
So anyways, I talked to Anna. I was a little disappointed because the friend of Anna did not really embrace that quirkiness, which really kind of disappointed me. But on the upside of things, talked to Elsa, and I'm just like, Elsa, where's Olaf? I was hoping to give him a nice big warm hug. And she's like, well, I heard that Olaf is somewhere in Hollywood studios on his summer vacation. So grandma now have switched over to the other part completely. And we just finished Indiana Jones. We get out of Indiana Jones and there is a 5-minute wait for Olaf. And I see that in front of me. Okay, my grandma is like basically in her 80s now, and she was in her like
Late 70s. That's
late 70s when I brought her with me. So you can imagine like a very young 20-year-old just being like, Grandma, 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 let's go see Olaf. So
You're such a kid.
I am. I really am. So I grab my late 70-year-old grandma and hobble her all the way over to Olaf. And we get to Olaf, and there's a whole bunch of little kids also. Like, there's only a few little kids in there, but they're just like, oh my gosh, it's Olaf. And I'm the same way with all of them. And luckily, it was like one family of little kids, so they were finally done. Yes, and I'm like, it's my turn. So I hand the staff my phone so they could take a picture with me and Olaf. Like, I always get very emotional, I feel like, when it comes to things that make me really overzealous and happy. So, like, I wanted to have a picture of Olaf with Grandma because I knew that would be something that would just make me feel good to look back on. And so I tried to get Grandma to come in. She did take a picture with me and Olaf, by the way. But I talked to Olaf and I'm like, Olaf, I just saw Elsa and Anna. Because when I was talking to Elsa, I said, where's Olaf? Because I wanted to give him the big warm hug. And she's just like, well, he's on a vacation getting his permafrost on. Make sure you tell him to, like, put on another coat while you're down there. So I'm like, I just saw Elsa and Anna. Elsa wanted you to put on your extra permafrost. Make sure you're still cold and don't melt away. And Olaf is just like, nope. And I'm like, can I give you a big hug, Olaf? I heard you love them.
You're getting so excited.
I
Oh my
know.
god.
I can't help but get so excited though, because I 100%, when I went to Disney World and Universal Studios, I made it my objective that when I was going to talk to the friends of the cast members, I was going to interact with them like I was in their movie.
I froze. Literally, I became frozen when we met characters. You were fine. I was like starstruck. I did not get much words in.
Got a hug from Olaf though at the end of it.
She got to interact with all the princesses we met.
Okay, so for those of you who are like friends of characters, what does that mean? Okay, so Disney's cute. They're a little quirky, like Anna. So when someone plays a role of a character at Disney, they call them the friends of. So if I played Snow White, I would say I'm a friend of Snow White's. I am not a friend of Snow White's, but that's just an example. So that's what Jonelle means. I remember having a really awkward conversation with Belle from Beauty and the Beast because she asked what my favorite book is. And my favorite book is The Flowers of Algernon. And it's a really depressing book about this guy who is, okay, I'm not going to get into it, but it's a really depressing book. And I'm like, how do I describe this to a Disney princess? I mean, yeah, I know you're based off of like really bad stuff, but you're also Disney-fied. So I was like, but I remember talking to Ariel and just having the most amazing time. And I remember just having the biggest crushes on all the Disney princesses.
I loved it when I was able to meet Cinderella because I lost my mind with her. And she was just like, yeah, I can tell you're like a really big fan of mine. She's like, I love all of my friends.
I would want to be a princess so bad, but at the same time, I can't be one.
I loved though the princess interaction because when I don't know if they had this at Disneyland, but like when you do an official meet and greet with the princesses in Disney World at Magic Kingdom, the princesses, they come up and greet you. Like when you're waiting in line and you're the next person in line, because they have two princesses in the room. So the first princess, which was Cinderella, she will grab you and escort you to her. And then she will take you to the next princess, and that princess will escort you out of the room.
They didn't escort us because for us, we met a handful of princesses. Ariel, we met out and about.
Yeah.
She was wandering, and we caught her.
As much as you catch a fish. Sorry, I had to.
But when we met, was it the three?
It was Belle, Sleeping Beauty,
And wasn't it Cinderella?
and Cinderella.
Yeah, and so when we met them, they were all kind of they weren't in like one room, but like they each had like their own distinct section.
Yeah, no, like Cinderella had the first half, and then Snow White had the second half, and then you had to go on the other side if you wanted to see Tiana and Rapunzel.
You know, for ours it was like one room, and then like around the wall was like the next princess, and around the wall was the third princess.
And the princess didn't really walk with you. You walked up to them, and then they greeted you, and then we took a picture, and then I'm sorry, I have to meet my next friend, and then you get ushered into the other room.
Which it got
a cast.
which it got a little bit awkward because if someone wasn't finished up with them in the next area, you were kind of just waiting on the side. It was weird. But
Yeah, at Disney World, it's definitely just one room with two princesses. One princess has one half, the other princess has another half. And so Cinderella greeted me. She comes up to me and she's just like, "Oh, how beautiful," type of thing. And she takes me over to like her section, shows me her little area, and I'm just like a little girl in there, and I'm just like, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And she's just like, "I completely understand that," definitely just being like, "Oh God, this is definitely a Disney adult."
no, but like circling back to Frozen,
I was like, "Yeah, we need to get off to Frozen."
Like, I'm gonna bring up probably like their one routine topic that we brought up, talking about all the different princesses.
Yes.
And that's where this fits in with like overall recent modern Disney movies. Because I feel like this movie, for a short period of time, caused a neo-renaissance for Disney. Because you figure Tangled came out in 2010.
Oh, this movie's so old. Old.
So this movie came out 13. And
Jinx, you owe me a smile.
And then, obviously with how huge it was, afterwards you also had Big Hero 6 come out, Moana came out, Zootopia came out, Inside Out came out.
Moana's another princess controversy.
But like, what are your guys' thoughts? Did you agree that like it basically sparked a mini renaissance?
Okay. Okay, so I remember when this movie came out. I remember being upset the first time I watched it because Han, who I thought was really cool, and I thought they were going to go with like, I was not expecting Kristoff to be the love interest because I totally thought that with the way that Anna and Hans just kind of like, they just kind of clicked. You know how you like meet that person that you've never met before, and then all of a sudden you're like talking and it feels like you've been friends forever, and you're like, "Oh, you're my person. We're gonna do everything together." It kind of just blossoms from there.
I will say this movie is one of the things I actually appreciate because of that. This movie really made me look at my relationship with my groomer in a different tone because of that reason.
See, I find it funny that you're saying you hated like what they did, and I was like, yeah, everyone hated it. It was the biggest twist ever.
I kind of want to like point out just like kind of like how that actually kind of brought me some relief, because a lot of people, they didn't like the fact that Hans all of a sudden was the bad guy,
and it felt like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did. It felt like it felt,
which was amazing.
It was really good, but like
exactly
when I was in my feelings, I was really hurt.
Exactly. And this is why I loved it so much, because as someone who I watched Frozen for the first time, I would say sometime when I was with my groomer, and I watched it with his little sister. And when I finally had watched it and I had gotten to the part where Hans was a bad guy, I felt the biggest sense of relief, because unfortunately, those are what groomers look like in society. is they come to you like everything is perfect, because generally people are kind of easy to read in a way, if you've noticed. And especially if you're a child, you're pretty easy to read.
See,
And
to kind of like flip that though, like with Kristoff, I really like how they made Kristoff the love interest, despite him being really different
Really weird. He
from
talks to reindeer.
like they made him weird, but they like also like made him like uncharacteristically blunt, more so than Flynn in Tangled, because like he was not afraid to like
he's
judge.
very honest.
He's very honest, and like, he immediately judges Anna harshly. Talks to reindeer, weird, nice
But
guy.
see,
Like it's
Kristoff was the people in my life who was my family. You know, they're like, why?
your best friend.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't around though when I was, you know.
Yeah,
But, you know, they're the person that's sitting there like, you know, we used to hang out every Sunday. Now he's been taking all of your Sundays away. Like, girl, come on back. Like, what's going on? You know,
just some guy.
yeah, Kristoff is that person. And what I really like about Frozen is it really shows the perception of how evil people can truly seem and how they can hide in the lines.
And but they also like redefined relationships extremely.
I remember I loved this movie because I'm going to go a little deep for a second, a little dark. We're going to just touch on it and go, if you will.
Like, I have not been going dark.
I tried to like just I
go.
really, really loved my sister. We have a really rocky relationship, and I won't get too much into it, but when this movie came out, it really like I saw myself and my sister, and I really, really loved that something showed how much like sisterly bonds can be really important. It's really bittersweet now because I don't have that relationship with my sister anymore. We're not the same people we used to be back then, but now I get to put that onto my sister-in-laws. I know neither of them watch this podcast. Hello, you two. But I get to like, it shows that it's not only romantic love that like gets to be highlighted. It's like familial love is really important. Friends, and
that is such a good point. Yeah. Because like me with my partner now, it's taken me a long time to come to acceptance of love doesn't need to just be romantic, because in a girl's image and head, I feel like it's always been brought up of just like, you're gonna have your happily ever after, and every day is going to be sunshines and rainbows and unicorns.
You're going to find the one, and he's going to make life perfect.
But like,
and you'll give him babies.
But also on that though, like they also showed that like it's not about like the first guy you lay eyes on for the first time in your life. It's like that slow burn that it develops over time.
The part that like I appreciate about with Kristoff is that he points out the red flags, not that like besides Anna have just first met in Kristoff. Or
I'm talking about Hans.
Sorry, I meant Hans. But like, it's totally fine to fall in love with someone you just met, but it was other red flags that came into the coincidence of just like, are you sure you really know this person? Because deep down, marriage is a big commitment.
See, I heard one quote while we were engaged that I found really interesting, and it all like cleared up a lot of things about like what I see from people our age and younger nowadays that get married more or less too young. And it's the idea of like, you're not ready for marriage, you're ready for a wedding. And it's, I think, like, that's something a lot of people don't understand. Like, marriage isn't just a wedding.
Absolutely. And like, I'm not even married yet. You two are married, so I'm sure you two can talk about this. But like, a lot of times I now find myself with my partner just going like, are you sure you're still going to love me of this habit right now? You know, like, are you sure this is something you're willing to work for with me on, you know? because a lot of it is now just beyond just our daily habits. It's financial. Like, there's things that I do on my own that he doesn't even know about. And then he finds out, and then he's like, that makes sense. But, in general, it's not like one of those things where he's just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So the idea of us, because we've been talking about getting married, and the idea of us getting married has always been more around like tax purposes, which is sad.
You say that, but I think that was a part of our conversation when we first got married. The tax benefits.
Yeah, which is sad because most people did get married for financial security. Royals were married off with other royals
For money.
for money.
And even nowadays, people will get divorced for financials because they'll have access to like better coverage or something like that on their like health plans and receiving those types of things
Yeah,
just because they're considered single now.
and all the time, I'm just sitting there, like, always asking my partner, just like, are you sure you're always going to, like, stick with me on this issue? Because, like, if we get married, I would want this to be a lifelong event, besides it just being a tax thing. But, like, we are in this together.
Something I told Megan a long time ago is the D word is never allowed to be brought up in a fight. It's not, I refuse to.
Divorce. He's talking about the word divorce.
That is not a word that should be brought up in everyday conversation when we talk about our relationship. It is no, well, we can always get divorced. No, I refuse to let that word.
And that's what I hate. People are willing to get so divorced now willy-nilly, and divorce court is so dumb. I mean, it's not dumb, but it's dumb because they're just like, why are you getting divorced? Well, my husband, he was unfaithful. He cheated on me. Of course, I'm acting very theatrical here, but really, like, okay, your husband cheated on you. Okay, cool beans. He's had sex with another woman. Congratulations.
Not a kid's podcast. Sorry, we bring this up every time we mention something like this.
Your life is now ruined emotionally. You still have kids? You still have a job? You still have bills to pay?
I know this may not go over well, but I'm going
Like,
to bring it up anyway.
go to therapy. Your marriage is worth fixing. If he wanted to have sex with someone because he just needed to get a nut out into a woman, at this point, I'm a person who's like, you know what? If you just needed to stick it in something with consent, go for it.
I have a few thoughts. Do you have anything you want to say before I go?
I know I sound insane here
I don't know.
because my idea of marriage is essentially just we've decided to be together in the long run. We have agreed we are flawed human beings, and if we're going to do something, we'll just admit it.
I don't know. I grew up with two grandparents who were divorced. And it was so bad that they couldn't be in the same room as each other. And a few times we had to go to a funeral with someone who was like mutual to both of them. And I remember once I wanted to say like happy birthday to my grandfather or something along those lines, right? And my grandmother literally pulled me out of the room, was like, we're not going to talk to that man. Like, he didn't even have a name anymore. My mom, I think, told me, or maybe this is something my brain made up, that my grandparents got divorced after all the kids were out of the house, but you could feel that tension, like, always building there. And a part of me is like, if you were so miserable being together, then I understand why divorce is a thing. But man, I don't know. Marriage and relationships are so complicated that there really isn't a one size fits all.
I just think getting divorced because you slept with someone is by far one of the dumbest reasons to get divorced. And this is just my point of view because often sex is a lustful thing. It is a quick, lustful moment where your brain needs dopamine. Unfortunately, that's what sex is. It's like it's a meth head who needed to do meth one more time.
I have like so many different thoughts in my head right now in response
Go.
to you especially.
Can we continue with Frozen?
I'm going to circle back to Frozen. Don't worry. I've been like sitting here thinking about how I can.
Please
wrap my
circle
thoughts.
back in to get me to.
Okay. I will cut out some of my thoughts and I'll bring them up after we're done. But what you said about like a woman, basically, not even necessarily a woman, though, with where my thought was going, that's that thought I was going around, but like someone getting divorced willy-nilly and not willing to stick through it. The way I see it, and this is from my perspective as a guy, so in reference it is a woman. If a woman is willing to divorce over one act without even an attempt to fight it, regardless of what the act is, it could be a intimate act, whatever, without any attempt to fight for the relationship and is that quick to throw it away, they did not care for, they just wanted to be married to say they were married. And that is exactly what Anna was basically doing.
Unfortunately, that is how most women are today.
They want to be married just to say they can be married. They don't actually care for the relationship
Because
itself.
Disney built this fucking fairy tale for us.
And in one movie, they redefined it in one movie.
Yeah, and they're like, so those things we told you about when you were younger, about once upon a time, don't marry them right away.
Sorry, I whispered. Like, they brought it up in, like, such a playful way that, like, Kristoff making fun of Anna, like, you married a dude you just met, dude, like, really? And then, like, Anna brought it up, Elsa brought it up as well. Then you have, God, what was it? Like, the sister, like, true love bit at the end where it was, like, Elsa that saved
Do you even
Anna.
know his favorite food? Sandwiches.
His last name, of the Southern Isles.
I was such an Anna, like, when I first started dating, and God, this is why I love Anna, because I see all the things in myself that were like,
But, like, Anna was so naive in, like, the cutest way. Like, she was so, like, you're like, oh, honey,
Oh my gosh.
honey.
My favorite scene with Anna in the first movie is when she has to like climb the mountain to go go save my sister, and she starts climbing. She's like, "Am I there yet?" And she's barely off the ground. And Kristoff's like, "Nope, not even close." It's so funny.
but her eagerness to go, I feel like I love Anna because Anna really resembles like the inner me, you know?
Mhm.
But she's so eager to go do things, and she, like, even if it doesn't come out right, she's gonna try.
She's a golden retriever who's finally allowed to run outside.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give my flowers to the cast of Frozen. So I might be a little funny because I love the four main characters
She-
and their actors, which
She loves
is
them so much.
I love them. So I'm not really an actor type person. I'm not like, oh my gosh, this has XYZ person, so we have to go see it. And before I went to college, I could name 4 actors. That's it. I could name 4 actors on a good day. So I learned a lot of actors and actresses' names, and I have really come to love these 4 actors. So according to Kristen Bell, the person who plays Anna, who I love and adore so much, described she auditioned for what we would now know as Tangled.
Hold up. I'm sorry, but look at the bottom right. It is officially announced
It's been announced.
What?
Frozen 3.
Oh my god!
in 2027. Sorry, I was looking up Kristen Bell because I was thinking of Kristen Stewart, and then I just needed to make sure I was not thinking of that person. And then on the bottom right here, it has, oh my god, there's fucking children. Okay, Frozen 3.
That's fan art. That's AI fan art.
Damn.
Anyway, so she auditioned to be what we now know as Bunzel, but they were like, "You're not the right fit, but stay around because we have another film which we think will be even better." And that turned out to be Frozen. And so Anna, since she was cast fairly early, got to really like figure out who Anna was. And she was like, all the other princesses were just so elegant and so just like calm and mature.
Calm, graceful.
Exactly. And she's like, I wanted a princess for the quirky girls. She described like as a child, she would eat out of her dog's bowl because she was like, she liked the dog better than like the other people. And she was like, I wanted to give that same quirkiness to Anna. So we have Kristen Bell to thank for Anna's like personality. And
It's funny how you describe like all the other princesses, and all I could think about is Elsa, because that's exactly how she presented.
and just, oh my gosh, can we also talk about how Kristen Bell is also the original Elphaba from Wicked Broadway?
Idina.
Adina, who did I say?
You said Kristen Bell.
No, Adina Menzel is the original, like, Broadway actress who played Elphaba.
She is such a good actress.
She's phenomenal.
Adina Menzel is incredible.
Okay, she is in this movie called RV,
Mm-hmm.
and it is so funny.
She was also in OG Rent.
Yeah, she was in the original production of Rent. I found this out today or yesterday, actually. She was even in the animated Hercules TV series on
Which has
Disney Channel.
A lot of A-list actors, by the way, just randomly.
Like Jodie Benson's in it. I'm trying to remember who. Like a lot of just A-list actors. I think you said Will Ferrell was in it.
Yeah.
It was like the most random thing, but like I remember hearing this one interview where like Adina was like, I don't like try to go like necessarily like, job after job after job. She pretty much works when she needs like just like, oh, I need to send my kid to college, I'll do Frozen. Like, you know, where it's like much more of like a practical thing for her.
But honestly, that way of living isn't bad.
She was in Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's because she was Elsa in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Okay,
That
it
makes
held all the princesses.
And like, because I mean, this is what we're going to talk about in the future, but like me and my partner are currently around the lines of just like essentially doing work like that of like, we're going to be sticking to a budget and we'll stay within that budget for however long we need. And then, you know, if we need more money, we'll just work and we'll live off of that. But
it's like the whole idea of like sales. Oh, I need money for something. Here, sale.
yeah, well, and that is because I am trying to transition into sales. And
But anyways, that's besides the point.
yeah.
Gosh. And then Josh Gad as
Josh
Olaf?
Gad is an amazing human. Have you seen like the videos of him at like in the Disney parks?
Oh my gosh. There has been okay, so okay, hold on. Disneyland. Disney like honored him by making him what? Like a Disney
So within the last 6 years, I'm gonna say, because I don't remember exactly when, they made Josh Gad, and I think most of the Frozen cast at that point, a Disney legend. She has an official like title, has an official ceremony and stuff. Get a statue, whole thing, and it goes to like actors, actresses, musicians, even just regular like people who just work for Disney, like Imagineers and so
Joe
on.
Rowdy.
And during his like acceptance speech of like being honored as a Disney legend, he makes this joke, tells a story / makes this dig at the casting director or whatever for Disney who turned him away when he applied to be a skipper on the Jungle Cruise and was like, I would like to update my resume to my application to say Disney legend Josh Gad.
That was just like a joke, right? But then Disney invites him
to be a skipper
on
the Jungle Cruise, which is like great. Like the video is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
It became a series
where Josh Gad would go into these rides and pretend to be a cast member. And the most recent one he did was on the Haunted Mansion, because we all know I'm a Haunted Mansion buff. And there's this mom who points to their kid and goes, "That's Olaf." And Josh Gad goes, "And no one would believe you." The funniest thing.
And I think he even like got to do like the Kilimanjaro Safari in Animal Kingdom. Like it is hysterical. And the fact that like he has that, and then we have like the Olaf retellings.
Oh my gosh, Josh
of Disney movies. Oh my gosh,
Josh Gad kills it.
I remember reading in an interview once where he actually said he regrets using his own voice for Olaf.
Because he's so recognizable as Olaf.
You hear him talk and it's just squirrel.
But that's how I feel with Olaf. Okay, honestly, he needs to continue working on the TV shows for Olaf's like mini shows.
We need more of those shorts.
They're so good.
Funny.
I rewatch them all the time. It's my favorite. For a while, Megan's profile picture on my phone was Olaf's smolder.
Well, I don't want to keep the fans missing on any more Frozen, so we're going to hop on our next episode with them for Frozen 2.
Hold on. Can I please talk about the last one? Please,
We're not doing Frozen 2. Yes.
Fine.
Fine. Can we please talk? About
what?
We got 3 out of the 4. We need Kristoff.
Okay, Jonathan Groff, the king.
The king, literally. Okay, so we all know I like this guy named Lin-Manuel Miranda. And Lin-Manuel wrote that little musical called Hamilton. And we all know that on the Broadway cast, there was one and only Jonathan Groff who played the king. And he was brilliant, and I love him.
And we all know.
Shut up. And he was, my gosh. So there's this interview that Sean and I watch when we need to pick me up. That's with Jonathan Groff and Josh Gad. It is so funny.
It was a Wired autocomplete interview with like both of them together.
It
It
is
was so
so
funny.
But no, that man is brilliant. He is so funny. Yeah. Frozen is one of those things that I didn't like it at first and it grew on me. Frozen 2 was one of those things I watched it and I was like, I didn't like it and it grew on me. And I think the reason it grew on me was, oh my gosh, those 4 actors really brought the movie home. Like, it would have been an okay movie without them. But with the 4 of them, it was a powerhouse, unlike anything else.
Well, like they have like such good chemistry
Oh my
together
gosh, they
too.
do. If
Like,
you ever seen Adina and Kristen in the room together, they're like literally Elsa and Anna, and I just stare at them like they are magnificent.
I think you're fangirling.
I may or may not.
That's why I'm saying we should record on Frozen too. Anyways, y'all should leave a comment.
You should- yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe and check out our website now.
And if you're watching on YouTube, apparently there's like a notification bell or something.
If you click it, it sparkles.
Bye, friends.